And thank you so much for saying that. It melt my heart. So yeah, meditation, it gets better. The longer you do it, it becomes like enjoyable. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Awakening to Ascension, episode 24. I am your host, Alex Nelson, here with Tara, Marlene, and Janae. The topic today is psychological effects of meditation. This one I'm excited about because of my history in psychology and my love for meditation. And you'll find that when you begin practicing meditation, it takes quite a bit of self-discipline just to get your body used to sitting still and to quiet your mind. And as you're able to continue doing this practice and continue on, it becomes easier and easier and easier. And you'll notice a new sense of clarity and calmness about you, even confidence as well. Yes, Janae.
Hello, everybody. I was rubbing my eye, but Alex thought that I was signaling him to speak, but I'll come in. So I'm in a very, very just great mood today. And I think we're all just having a great time because doing this is really, it's uplifting. It's uplifting for us, and I can only imagine what it's doing for the listeners and to the viewers. So we are coming in with some really great energy today, and that's also something that meditation does, is it rewires your programming, and your neurons actually start to change. So there are scans that show the neurons of the brain over time during a meditation, after meditation, and after a period of meditation as to what it's physically doing to the mechanism of your DNA and your build and just who you are. So meditation does have a really great impact on your psychological being. And I read something which was really, really interesting. And I think that people should know this. But there's been studies that have shown, because meditation is now starting to become something that is more practiced and it's becoming more known to humanity. And they are saying that meditation for up to 2 minutes is almost the equivalent of taking a nap. So, taking those two and being able to just do a meditation for 2 minutes is setting you up, and it's reboosting you, it's rejuvenating you, it's re everything you. So it really, really is such a vital part of your daily practices. Like I constantly say, it's like brushing your teeth. Anything that you do in your day-to-day life, you need to start looking at how you can integrate it slowly, because the four of us have been on this journey for a much longer time, and we've done these practices over a longer period of time. So we do it a little bit more in depth than most would. But when I started my journey, I started with 5 minutes. That's all, because it was too overwhelming for me. It was too new. I didn't understand it. Like Alex said, sitting still for such a long time, it was uncomfortable for me. So I think if you just start to slowly integrate it into your daily routine, like you would brush your teeth, start making a note. Okay, as soon as I wake up, I'm going to sit for 5 minutes. And that's what you do. Yes, Marlene.
So when I think about the psychological side effects, I think about it like it's almost like weightlifting for the brain. Uh-huh. So many structural changes actually take place whilst you're doing this. And over time, it is said that in 8 weeks of doing meditation, you can actually reshape your brain. It also shrinks the amygdala. So that means that the brain alarm center starts to switch off. So it means you're less susceptible of actually jumping on the bandwagon and getting hyped up and going all crazy. You become calmer and you become less reactive and you take on less stress and fear. So there's so many things that we can actually talk about. Let's go back to Alex and ask him more of what he was chatting to us about.
Yes, so you mentioned some chemistry that changes within the brain through meditation. This is actually very important in today's society with the amount of scrolling that we do and the endless amount of dopamine that we just pump into our brains. So dopamine's like the pleasure chemical. It's what our brain tells our body when we've achieved something like food, sex, water, anything that encourages survival. But because we get so much dopamine every day, a lot of our dopamine receptors are getting, so they'll get overflooded with this neurotransmitter. So more receptors will create themselves in order to accept all of these different all of the different dopamine. But then when you stop that supply of dopamine, the receptors begin to dry up, and that results in depression. So, in order to repair these things, I mean, you can either take antipsychotics, which I don't, and those are useful for some people, but I don't think that's a long-term solution. The best way to healthily close these receptors is to be bored and sit in like that moment of just like this is really boring because your brain just hates it. You hate being bored, you don't like it. But the more you're bored, these receptors begin to close up and you can get into a healthy dopamine balance within your brain. And with meditation, when you start doing it, it's really not that exciting. But that's the point of it, is to listen to yourself, listen to your mind, what thoughts are coming through. It helps you like reorganize your to-do list and take like restructure what takes priority in your life. Yes?
Were you done?
Yeah.
Okay. So Janae, when you were saying meditation, what 2 minutes of meditation is equivalent to a 2-hour nap? I am certified in yoga nidra, and I'm also an elementary school teacher. So once a week I do yoga nidra with my students. And when we don't do it, there's a direct correlation between increase in behavior issues um, or calmness within the whole classroom community. Um, and yeah, just getting still is really difficult for kids. But once I take them through a whole nidra, uh, some of them don't wake up when they're supposed to. I have to like gently say, it's time to get up now. And they love it. Janae.
So, with regards to the children, I started practicing meditation at the end of a dance class and at the beginning of a dance class because it's that, Marlene says, setting an intention for the things that you do. So, before a dance class or anything that you're doing, if you set an intention into the meditation, sometimes we're so busy thinking constantly, like, okay, what am I going to make for dinner? And, you know, that person said this to me, and that robot is out, and, I need to remember to buy this. And we need to slow it down and we need to start living more in the present moment. And that's what meditation also assists with. So, it is such an important aspect to integrate into a child's being, and we must understand that they find it extremely difficult to be still because their little bodies just want to go. They've got this energy that they just need to like get out, and they're like, I want to go play. So to bring them to that stillness is also allowing them psychologically and physically, they're going to be able to retain information a lot better because they are quietening their mind. So when you're teaching them something, whatever you're teaching them, they'll actually retain the information a lot faster and they'll remember it because they've made space. They've sat in that silence and they've made space for it to come through. And something that Robin Banks says, so to go from Alex and just the neuro pathways and that whole aspect, he describes it as a highway. So you're taking these roads to specific places, and as we know, we drive the same route. And what happens is, by driving the same route, the tar on the road starts to wear and tear. It's the same in our mind. So you've got these repetitive thoughts, which is this programming. So essentially, what you want to try and create is different routes. So instead of going to the shops on the same route that you always take the route that's less busy, because all those cars are driving and they're taking the tar off the road. So now, by thinking the analogy of your neurons, when you change and you shift direction, you're taking a road less traveled, therefore the tar is fresh. You a little bit unsure because it's a road you don't quite know. So you got to trust yourself and move slow, because you now don't know if there's a tree or a stop street or whatever the case is. So it's creating a different highway with your thoughts, and by doing that, that's through meditation. So it's in the thoughts and the shifting of your thoughts. It was a really beautiful way that somebody described it, and he actually drew it on a board where he showed all the different routes and how you can change it. And that's how our neurons start changing. Excuse me. Yes, Marlene.
Well, it's the same as if you use, instead of brushing your teeth with your right hand or your dominant hand, you do it with your left hand. So everything that you do, try and do the opposite of that, because that actually stimulates and changes and forms the neural pathways to go in those different little routes in your brain. So it's actually really, really beneficial. What I was also going to say, Janae is actually just like throwing me right off with all her, woo! Okay, Janae, go.
Okay, so I wanted to come in quick with something again with children. It's that cross pollination. It's the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere of your brain, and working with it in cross. It's that dexterity and that being able to do things with both sides. And in dancing, movement orientated, you can't always practice something with the one side, because then you're going to walk lopsided. You're going to have muscle development only on one side. So that brushing of your teeth with the opposite hand is training the opposite side of your brain how to use your body in a better way. And even things like drinking water, you usually use your dominant hand to pick up water. You use your dominant hand to grab a glass out the cupboard. So it's small things that you train your brain with to use the opposite hand. Okay, yes, Marlene.
It also goes back to when you sit journaling. When you journal in the mornings, to get it out of your mind, not to think, you don't use your dominant hand, you actually use the hand that you're not used to using. And it feels very strange in the beginning, because it's like it almost looks like you're just scribbling. But the more you do it, the better you become at that journaling, and the better your mind actually becomes far quieter, far quicker, and you don't sit with all of those crazy thoughts that you have in your mind, which go on the hamster wheel, left, right, left, right, left, right. So all of those kinds of things really make a huge difference. Alex.
So I just wanted to add a little bit. So for those of you that are like brand new at meditation, if you do have a history of depression and there's an automatic narrative in your brain that tells you bad things about yourself, I would highly recommend using a guided meditation where there's like positive reinforcement going on in there to train your brain to start automatically talking about the positive things. Because if you just let your own destructive mind just tell you you're not a great person or whatever, and because that's what happened to me for years and years. It would just automatically tell me I'm a terrible person, that I don't deserve to live, and all that, all the things. So just keep in mind that if you do have that experience, you can find some like positive affirmation meditations that are really helpful, and you can even fall asleep to those to help like rewire your automatic responses in your brain. Yes, Tara?
So I just wanted to share that I think one of, no, not I think, I know one of the most beautiful examples of how meditation can rewire your brain and build it new is just watching Alex's transformation. I don't know a ton about his past, but seeing or knowing some places he's come from and that he got himself out of that place and into a better place just through yoga and meditation, it's astonishing.
She speaks the truth.
It's truly astonishing.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, it has been one hell of a journey. Yes, Janae.
I I want to commend you just before I come in with regards to your personal journey. I believe that there are many people that are going through some really dark, deep thoughts. And I think that a little bit of understanding and nurturing must be given to them on how far they've come, the fact that they've chosen to stay, and just honoring them with what they've been through. So, for those of you that are listening or know of people that are struggling through something, just a little bit of kindness goes such a long way. And I think that we need to be a lot more understanding with regards to each other's personal journeys because, as Marlene said, the one episode, we don't know what the other person's walking through and what their shoes are carrying. So I think we just need to be mindful of that. And when Alex brought up the sleep meditation with regards to the guided meditation, sleep meditation is also something that is so prevalent in the development of the psyche because in your sleep state is your unconscious, and that is where the reprogramming happens. So, if you are in a sleep state, your mind, your brain is hearing those positive affirmations. And if you do it continuously and over a period of time, again, you're rewiring that programming of your thoughts. And sleep meditation can also be used for those that struggle to sleep. And if you find the correct ones, someone I highly recommend, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's Daoshi, and it's Dauschy. His voice is highly calming, and he does some phenomenal work on sleep meditations. He does them for long enough periods that you can play them, and it's 7 to 8 hours of a sleep meditation. And that's something I did in the beginning of my journey because I wasn't able to sit in stillness because my body's moved the whole time. I started with guided meditations and sleep meditations.
So to end off with what I think is the meditation actually increases your self-awareness of the thought observation, and it then teaches you to have less judgment. And within that, it actually increases your EQ, your emotional quotient. And so with having that, it speaks to what Janae was saying, that we need to be more understanding of people and where they are. And so, really, at the end of the day, meditation has an uncountable number of amazing effects. And the more you persevere, the more you do it. As Tara was saying, look at Alex and how far he's come. And we've all got that story, and we can all really look back on it. So, woohoo for everybody that actually practices, sits with it, does it. Keep going. It just becomes more and more beneficial, guys.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for saying that. You melt my heart. So yeah, meditation, it gets better. The longer you do it, it becomes like enjoyable. And the health benefits are incredibly worth it. Definitely highly encourage anyone to meditate. Make it daily, make it twice a day if you can, and you'll notice that in a very short amount of time, you will notice the benefits. That is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and comment if you have any meditation skills or meditation methods that you would like other people to see. Drop those in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.